Hi, my name is Dan and I run a tennis club in Rochester called Dan James Tennis. I recently did my coach readiness test and I wanted to share it with you to help you see what it's like to do the readiness test and all the different little tips to help you pass the readiness test. So on the screen there are the 8 tasks. Next is my personal statement for you to hear.
Hi, I'm Danny French, and since my level 2 course, I've used the experience from that course and applied it to my group coaching sessions, and it's been working really well, and it's helped me gain valuable experience as a tennis coach. These things include the game assessment, trying to find a relevant teaching point for my players to then progress the lesson. I've also used condition points quite well to help the players develop their skills in a little bit more competitive environment so they can see their progress. I've also been able to use my demonstrations to good effect by having that one teaching point, the show and tell, and then doing 3 positive demonstrations and then checking for understanding. I found that's worked really well to try and get the lesson moving and doing it very slick and very quickly in under 2 minutes. I've also tried to make sure that my lessons keep all the players active and engaged. I've done this across all different age groups as well. I've enjoyed developing my coaching and using some of the things such as the cardio tennis, pair and play, and tennis express to really try and make sure that different products are being available to my players and keeping the lessons fun and engaging. When I go to my level 3 course, the motivation for doing this is to enhance my tennis coaching ability. So I started a tennis club in Rochester, and this is where I'm filming now, and I've been doing this for about 2 years. And from there, I want to try and make it much more better for my players by being a much better coach and learning different skills. I also want to take my knowledge of group sessions and take it further, but I also want to work individually with players as well. So this is why I want to do my level 3 course, because I know that this will give me much better chance of delivering high quality one-to-ones. What makes me an inspirational person to take a player on an individual journey? I think that I can do a great job of motivating a player by staying positive with them and trying to help them through the mental aspects of the game as well as the physical part of the game as well. I think it's really important to try and be a mental figure to a player to help them succeed in tennis, and to also try to make sure that they are having fun at the same time.
So in your personal statement, you're answering 3 questions. What have you learned since your level 2? What's your motivation for applying for the course? And what makes you an inspirational figure to take a player on an individual journey? Try to be as engaging as possible. And then after that, then you will do the demonstration task where I'm going to help you, talk you through some little tips that can help. On the demonstration task, you're asked to hit 3 medium pace serve followed by another 3 medium pace serve. So you start on the juice court and then you do the next 2 on the ad court. When you're on the ad court, you're looking to do 2 wide serves and then do 1 down the middle, and you're demonstrating how you can change the direction of the serve using your racket face, changing the angle. It's really important to show and tell when you do this, as you'll see here.
Changing the direction of the serve using the angle of our racket to make a wide serve and a T serve. So when I want to go for a wide serve, I'm going to make my racket face point towards the wide part of the court. When I make a serve, you can see that I turn my racket face the moment I touch the ball. Get a wide serve, and then if I want to get a serve down the middle, I'm going to turn my racket face more to the middle. So, to check for understanding, when we put the ball up and the moment we touch the ball, where would we need to angle the racket? So for a wide serve, the answer would be more towards the wide, so you turn the racket face there, and then for the serve down the middle, turn your racket face more to the middle. Okay? Now I'm going to show you 3 serves really slowed down. So really slowed down serves.
Out of the 9 serves that you're asked to hit, 6 of them have to go in to pass. The feedback that I got on that was on my slowed down serves, I needed to be careful to make sure that I didn't let my racket drop too low before making contact. So try to make sure you really reach up high on the slowed down serves when you're demonstrating those. On the tactical feeding task, set up 2 channels on either side of the court using your racket. You're allowed to do a 1 bounce feed or a no bounce feed, and I opted to do a 1 bounce feed because I felt it was easier to get a little bit more topspin on the ball for me. When you finish your racket position, finish nice and high with your elbow pointing towards that target, so you're demonstrating good technique, and make sure that you're feeding at a good speed, imagining that the player on the other side of the court is only one player. Have the basket on your non-dominant side. Make sure that you're in a nice athletic stance when you feed, demonstrating good technique, and feed at a good comfortable pace, imagining that one player is going to be moving left to right to each channel. So for the chopper grip rally feed task, show your chopper grip to the camera at the beginning and then begin to play a really slowed down rally. You're really trying your hardest not to put any spin on the ball. So you alternate the shots left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then catch the ball. Once you've caught the ball, you then repeat it again. This is to try and help a beginner player, so what they're looking for is to see if you can put a nice consistent ball in that's at a reasonable pace for them to help them progress. So you don't want to make this rally fast, you just want to make sure that the rally pace is nice and slow so that player can then get into the rhythm and progress their tennis. It's worth mentioning here that I really exaggerated my swing, so I'm pointing my strings all the way through to the target to the end, so the assessor can see that you are following the path of the ball to make sure that you can maintain the flight and the control of the ball. So for the forehand task, you have to hit 12 forehands cross court using the outside wing, so this must be your forehand in order to get to the 12. If you use your backhand, that won't count towards your 12. This needs to be done in under a minute, and what they're looking for is they're looking for you playing really well, trying to get into your ready position after each shot you've played, making the effort to get into a good position on the court after you hit your shot as well. So you're trying to recover a little bit off centre, try to get back into the middle of the court as relevant to the shot that you play. So try your best to show off your best tennis, and remember you're only allowed to use 1 ball for these tasks, so if you do make an error you have to run and get the same ball. I decided to just do the rally outright. I felt that this was a lot easier and it just looked a little bit more professional than running and just going to get the ball, so trying to keep the rally going on the forehand task was the thing that I wanted to do. So it wasn't done in 1 take, it did take a few takes, so that's the great thing about the readiness test, is you can do as many takes as you like and submit the one that you want. So I moved on to the backhand side, and it's the same thing. You need to hit 12 backhands in order to add towards your score. You're only allowed to use 1 ball, only the outside wing will count towards your score. So you can hit 4 hands in this, but just be aware that it won't count towards your 12. With this task, it's really important to get a hitting partner that can give you that consistent ball that you need to work on the task itself, because it will be really challenging if you don't have someone who hits really well. For this task I had a level 4 performance coach with me, Michelle Sulu, who's really good at helping out, and he's had a great career as a level 4 coach, so it was really good to have him on board to help me do this task. So on to the volley task, and to get this one done you need to at least hit 4 backhand volleys. Now strangely I actually hit 4 backhand volleys straight away in this rally, and that actually was a quite easy way to do it, so perhaps prioritise getting those backhands done and afterwards you can then do your forehand volleys. The ball does have to go past the service line and it can't bounce a second time before the baseline, so they have to be good deep volleys, nice and controlled. Again, working to recover into a good position on the court to making sure that you are maintaining a good athletic stance as well. So the serving task is where you have to do 8 serves on the deuce side and 8 serves on the advantage side. So you set the camera up on the deuce side first and demonstrate 4 serves wide. So there's a cone in the middle of the service box, on the service line that is, where to show which is the wide and which is the down the middle serves. So you do 4 wide and then 4 down the middle. On the camera setup, make sure that the camera is set up on the side that's not your serving side. I think there's a misconception for the player who would be doing the readiness test to think that they are looking at your technique more so than where the ball goes, and to an extent they are looking at your technique, and they want you to demonstrate a good consistent setup, a good ball toss, a nice high reach on the serve, but they also really do need to see where the ball goes. So make sure that you get the ball into the area that you're aiming for, and a second bounce is outside the court, so it's outside the baseline or it's outside the wide part of the court. So they have to be good pace serves in order to get the job done for this one. So on this one I actually think I got all 8, which then set me up nicely to then change the camera angle for the advantage side. And take your time as well, so set yourself up, get into a good rhythm for your serve before moving on to the next one. So once you've done the deuce side, then pause your camera and then set it up on the advantage side so you've got a good visual of the serves that you're about to do. Like I said, I got 8 serves out of the first one, so the pressure was a little bit off on this one, so you actually need 10 serves in to pass, and there's a few serves that I do miss on the advantage side, but I knew that I was able to pass because I managed to get at least 2 on the advantage side. This is good enough for me. And it might not be good enough for you. You might want to be a bit of a perfectionist about it, but that's your choice. For me, I was quite happy getting it done there and then. So this is all my tips for the readiness test, for your coach readiness test, so from level 2 to level 3. I say if you have any questions at all, then feel free to ask, and I hope you found this video very, very helpful.